Good morning. It's 4:11 in the morning, and you might say, what sort of sad person is up at 4:11 in the morning playing with his trains? Well, we've been having an interesting thunderstorm, and the crashes and bangs and rain woke me up. And not only that, but I've got something very important to do at 7 o'clock, before which time I need to scrape my chin and all those other things that a chap has to do before he goes out to work. But I thought we'd just have a little look at the Duchess. Now, I've got the light on the camera because my illumination in this room is not very good at night. So we put the spotlight on the Duchess. There's the chassis removed from the body. Now, something that I learnt, it's actually difficult, if not impossible, I don't know, I didn't try too hard. It's difficult to take the chassis out of the body with the rear bogie still attached and the drawbar, so I took that off, and then the body drops out quite nicely. These two little grooves, they locate in there on the body, so that came out quite okay. The next thing that I need to do is start thinking about how well this motor works. And on the back of the motor, this is quite exciting with the spotlight on it, isn't it? On the back of the motor is a magnet, and yeah, it is still magnetic, but it's not particularly the most powerful magnet I've ever felt. I think that might have to be remagnetised. That would be easy if I had a remagnetiser. That will form another whole set of works. I have some thoughts about that. The motor itself, well, oh, focus, come on. These keeper plates effectively put the magnetism round the armature of the motor, and what we can see in there is the armature and the brushes. That all needs to come out and be cleaned, but I do need to pull that motor out. As you can see, it's a worm drive. I need to pull that out so that I can spin the wheels and just make sure that the chassis is doing everything it should, as it should. The motions on this locomotive for a model are very, very complicated. And a couple of them I notice are just slightly bent. Not a big surprise, because of course this engine has been picked up by, who knows, 1,000 children and 1 or 2 dads, and yeah, I think 1 or 2 of those might just need just a little nudge into the right direction, just to free them up a little bit more than they are at the moment. But yeah, we will take our time, we will pull this apart slowly and methodically. Honest. Well, that took the magnet off, and that allows me to see the armature of the motor, and more importantly, it allows me to feel it. Now, as I rotate the armature, I can feel that there's a little grating going on somewhere there. Not a great deal, but I think that possibly there's something not quite right with the worm and gear. As I say, I can just feel a little roughness Not all the way round, just here and there. So that needs to be undone. That is locked with a little lock nut. Before we do that, we'll pull the brushes out of the motor and see how that feels. The brushes are held in with these little plugs. So I'll pull those out, pull out the springs and the brushes, and we'll see what it feels like then. Now I think I've found a problem. I think it's a simple problem. I've pulled the brushes out, and now that motor turns without any grating, without any unpleasantness. And what I found when I pulled the brush keepers out, where are we? Where's that gone? The springs were sticking out when I pulled the brush keepers out, which suggests to me that the brushes may have been too long. Possibly. But that's taken that little bit of unpleasant feel out of the motor straight away. So that's an optimistic thing. The next job is to pull the armature out and then to clean the brush tubes.